What a week in the madhouse. World Economic Forum leader and archetypal Bond villain Klaus Schwab has said he's stepping down off his throne, presumably for a retirement condo on the Lake of Fire, and it has us all asking which demonic entity will fill his Wehrmacht boots. War criminal Tony Blair certainly seems to have racked up enough skeletons for the job, and Jacinda Ardern won herself plenty of brownie shirt points with her restrictions and inhumane mandates, but it could always be someone from left field. Satan himself may be bored of ruling from the shadows and fancies a bit of limelight, who knows. Talking of Satan, Benjamin Netanyahu has had an international criminal court arrest warrant issued against him. Oh yeah, and his Poundland sidekick Yoav Gallant for war crimes committed in Gaza. Of course, it means absolutely nothing because the Israeli government see themselves as above international law because, well, they always have been. And whenever anyone has ever dared to attempt to hold them to account at the UN, their little lapdog, USA, comes along to veto and throw any justice out the window while shouting anti-Semitism. So while the arrest warrant is meaningless, it has shown up who is on the payroll, as nearly all Western leaders, particularly those inside the lapdog USA, jumped to rubbish the idea of Netanyahu being a war criminal and threaten to place sanctions against the International Criminal Court and its officials. The USA and Israel's special relationship is the most one-sided relationship in history. The USA hands over whatever Israel wants and Israel takes it, giving nothing in return. Well, apart from bribing corrupt and contemptible traitor politicians, so they'll give even more of what Israel wants. And Netanyahu is a war criminal, of course, and it's not something he became since October. He's a deeply corrupt and evil man who commits war crimes as an act of government policy. The term mowing the lawn doesn't mean the same to him as it does to you. But scroll through the tweets of nearly all US politicians, Republicans or Democrats, the illusion of choice, and you'll see almost the same tweet word for word. I strongly condemn the ICC. I strongly reject the ICC. You don't strongly do anything, mate. You're a dog on a lead. It's almost like Israel wrote these condemnation tweets themselves. In fact, they probably did, let's be honest. And they wouldn't even need the logins because they're pretty good at hacking. They've hacked the White House before, of course, because that's what precious allies do. Netanyahu was quoted as saying that arresting him now would be like arresting George W. Bush for 9/11. Sorry, Bibi, that's not the zinger you think it is. The president of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, he's died in a helicopter crash with much joy and celebration from those that definitely weren't involved, because we all know it was an accident, okay? We'll all go along with the accident narrative until it's later admitted it wasn't. And Julian Assange has been granted the right to appeal his extradition to the United States for the crime of exposing their war crimes and corruption. Now, at a time when Britain's prisons are overcrowded and violent criminals, including those that are known to be a danger to children, are being released early, Julian Assange, a man guilty of no such crimes, will remain incarcerated as the can is kicked down the road once again. The hope has always been that after over a decade in prison, much of it in solitary, without any natural sunlight, that Julian's body would deteriorate to such a point where he ceased to be a problem to them. You see, they can't release Julian Assange because that will empower people, and they certainly don't want to do that. They don't want to set a precedent where exposing war crimes becomes acceptable. They want even more destruction of press freedoms, not less. But they also don't want to be seen to hand Assange to the USA, a country whose crimes he exposed, a country that's already been caught plotting to kill him, because that's not good PR. And it kind of does away with the "we're the good guys" label we like to give ourselves, mind you. The UK is currently blindly backing the grotesque crook Benjamin Netanyahu, so maybe they're not too bothered about being seen as the good guys after all.